The year is currently 2025. 20 years ago, a really important game came out. And I used to play this game not terribly frequently, but I played it a couple times. It's one of those games that aren't like it's not a very long game, but without this game, we wouldn't have Red Dead Redemption. Because a lot of the ideas that were in Red Dead 1 and even Red Dead 2, I would say, originated from this specific game. I'm talking about Gun for the PlayStation 2. It was also, I want to say it was like one of the first 360 games as well. It came out in 2005, so it came out 20 years ago, and it was a Western game that was developed by Neversoft. It was developed by the people that made the Tony Hawk games, and you can kind of tell, like, when playing the game, even though there's no skateboard, there's a horse, you can ride your horse, but you can tell it's like a Neversoft game. Talking to different people for like side missions, there's like they have some of the Neversoft animations, like you talk to an NPC, and instead of them saying, "Hey, grind on this roof, can you beat this score?" It's hunt this bear. If you hunt this bear in this territory, you will be a master hunter. They have the those animations, those like NPC animations. Pretty funny, but that's how you can kind of tell like it's a Neversoft game. But it was the first, to my knowledge, the first open world Western game. Now, a year prior, there was Red Dead Revolver, the first Red Dead game, technically the first Red Dead game. And Red Dead Revolver was level based, and I really enjoyed that game. I might make a separate video on Revolver. Red Dead Revolver was really, really fun. But when Gun came out, it was open world, so, and it was actually partly open world. You would have like your main mission would always be highlighted. Like, you didn't have to go and do the main mission like right away, but it would be kind of like, it would be like the next place to go to do the main mission. Again, it's kind of like a Tony Hawk game. Your main mission is always like highlighted to where to go to next and such. It's not like you choose to do different missions like GTA. It was a little bit different than GTA. If you know how a Neversoft game works or a Tony Hawk game works, it oddly works the same way, but in a Western. And it was a progressive type expansion game. Progressive, and not the political word, progressive, and not the insurance company progressive. Progressive as in like progression. Like, you start off in this little town, and then you have to do a couple missions to get to the next town. And you like consecutively open up new areas the more that you play the game. And then you open up more side missions and such. Again, it's a game from 2005, so it's not like the biggest game ever. You know, it's not like it's not a very big map. It's kind of like a very small, like, maps are like big, like this big, but Gun's map is like this big. And it's not a huge map or anything, but there's still a lot to do. Like, there's a lot of side missions. You can mine for gold. You can race people on your horse. So it's still big enough to have a lot of side content apart from the main mission content. But to talk about the story, if I recall correctly, I could be entirely wrong on some of these parts, but I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. It's super generic. It's a generic cowboy story, and it's a super violent one too. What I remember specifically about Gun, I remember way back in the day, it was frowned upon for me to like play something like Red Dead Revolver back in like 2004, or even like San Andreas. I remember San Andreas specifically. It was like frowned upon, like, because it was such a newsworthy game of like violence or something. So really any Rockstar game was like frowned upon for me to play. But Gun was okay because it's, even though it was an M-rated game, there was no news headlines about Gun to my knowledge. But that was like one of the most violent games like ever, especially for back then. Like, it's the most violent Western game at that time. Like, the headshots rival Resident Evil 4. If not, it exceeds Resident Evil 4 or matches Resident Evil 4 in terms of intensity. Like, the heads straight up explode in that game. And there's no like, this is interesting. I always like game physics and such, but this is back in the day where like there were the physical animations were always like not as complex as today. Like, there was no ragdoll systems back in the day, which is some of the most entertaining things of all time. Is if a game has ragdoll physics, is like, that boosts the game's credibility for me. I love ragdoll physics. Fallout 3, Saints Row, GTA 4, so fun. But this game did it like a little bit different. There was no ragdoll physics, but there was like, they had like unique animations. Whenever you would shoot someone, they would like fall to the ground and like, and they would have like a unique animation, like a dying animation. Very, very violent, but very like, very well done. Like, the team that made those animations like put a lot of work into it. And it kind of makes sense. Again, this is a Neversoft game, so they did like those animations for, you know, Tony Hawk. They probably did the same animations for Tony Hawk. There's a lot of attention to detail in it, and it's really cool. So the story is like your dad. Well, there's a twist with your dad. Your name is Colton, and you're played by Thomas Jane. This is 2005, so Thomas Jane was kind of popular, esque. He was kind of popular-ish back then in 2005. He had just done like The Punisher and The Mist. I think he was in a couple other things, but he's the main voice actor. Ned is played by. I looked into the voice cast list, and the voice cast, Ned is played by Chris Christopherson. Does anybody remember that Eminem line where he goes something? You're Chris Christopherson. Well, I'm Pistofferson. Or something like that. Chris Christopherson.
You heard of Chris Christopherson? Yeah. Well, I'm Pistofferson. Oh.
That line is whack. So your dad is played by Chris Christopherson. But you go through this training stage with your dad, and you fight a bear, kill a bear, and then you get on a boat to go to Dodge City, and then the boat gets hijacked by a priest, and you pass out in the water. Some bum tries to like rob you. You go to Dodge City, you got a coin, you give it to some chick.
Take the token to the Alhambra Saloon and ask for Jenny. That's what Ned said just before he died.
Who ends up getting her throat sliced later on in the game. Big spoiler. The town has like a bridge that's out, and you have to fight Indians to repair the bridge so that the Asians can repair the bridge. This is very old school. This is just how the game goes. You go to Mexico City, or something like that. You talk to the sheriff. You end up finding out that there's like there's like a cross, and this cross, there's like pieces of a cross, and it's like a gold cross. And then throughout the game, they're talking about like there's like an ancient city of like jewels or something. Eventually, you see the main bad guy. He was like a Confederate soldier, he was a general, and he's looking for the cross so that he can find something, that he can find the city. So what ends up happening, you find out that you're actually a Native American, and you were adopted, and your like brother or something, someone in like your tribe has like part of the cross. You find the other pieces of the cross. You have the cross, so it's like a double cross. It's a double cross, and you realize it's like a map to where the gold city is in the game, and you find out that, and there's a lot of other characters in the game, and there's like some wars that are going on and such, but you use this cross to find the ancient city of the gold. The general thinks he knows the location, then he finds the location, and then the general, you get your vengeance for your dad, or Ned, who's not really your dad, he's your adopted dad, because the general killed your family. And Ned wanted to like get his revenge on the general after that day. He couldn't get his revenge because he got killed on the boat, because of that preacher guy infiltrated the boat, because the cross was on the boat. The cross, part of the, if not all the cross, was on the boat. So there was a race to find what was on the boat, and you get like the cross, and now they're out to find you before you were able to get the cross. But at some point, this is that and the other. You get the cross, you find the ancient city of gold, and it's like a big cave of gold, and you have to fight the general there, and he's the cheapest boss of all time. And you fight him, and you beat the game, and you get to play the game afterwards, which is really cool. And so you can do like all the other stuff, but you get your vengeance on your dad, for your dad, revenge. You avenge him. And that's pretty much it for Gun. A lot of side stuff you can do. You can do like some bounty hunting missions. Those are really cool. You know, Red Dead Redemption, you got bounty hunting. Even though Red Dead Revolver was about bounty hunting, but there's bounty hunting in Gun. You can play poker in Gun. You can do side stuff like hunt animals and such. You can do racing, horse racing. What's pretty funny is that you have your little health bar on the bottom left, and if your health gets too low, you can press up on the D-pad, and you take a swig out of your flask to refill your health. So that's pretty unique. That's pretty cool, I guess. That game, I remember that game being very difficult. Like on like the hard difficulties, there's like a lot. There's like hard, very hard, legendary, super hard, super ultra hard. And if you get shot once, like you're dead. And especially on the last boss is super cheap. But yeah, overall this game is like, it's not like a long game. It's not like I don't remember, like I remember like the entirety of the game in my head. So that lets me know it's not an incredibly long game, not to my recollection. Like you can beat the game probably in like one sitting. I feel like I played and beat the game in one sitting. It's definitely not like a multiple sessions type of a game. Like you can play the game in one session, but it's still really fun. It's a really fun game, and without it, we wouldn't have something like Red Dead Redemption, like an open world Western, but maybe we would, maybe. But this was the first one, especially in 2005. Again, it's a 20-year-old game, but it paved the way for open world Westerns, which even to this day, those are only like the top three that I can think of open world Westerns. You've got Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Redemption 1, and you have Gun. And then there's probably like Call of Juarez. I never played Call of Juarez, but I don't know if it's open world or not. It seems like it's a level-based type game. But those are the only big ones that I can think of off the top of my head. If I'm wrong by any means, let me know if there's any other open world Western games that are out there. Like specifically Western, I'm talking like old school Dodge City, those type of Westerns, open world. I'm surprised that they never made like a sequel, but you know, it could be because it's Neversoft that developed it, so they had the IP and such. And that's like asking for a new Tony Hawk game. So it is what it is. It was a product of its time, and it came and went. It came and went fairly quickly. From what I remember, like, it wasn't like super big. Like, it was big. Like, people knew about it. Like, did you play Gun? Have you played Gun? I know you like Grand Theft Auto, but have you played Gun? But there was like no like sequels or anything. They made an adaptation for the PSP because the PSP was fairly new at the time, and that's actually pretty incredible that they ported it to the PSP. But that's all there is to the game itself. There was no sequels or anything. Product of its time. You know, if you can find the game, you can probably find it very cheap. I mean, you can probably. I'm pretty sure. I don't have Xbox anymore, or Xbox. Or I never took advantage of the Xbox Game Pass, but it might be on Game Pass. It might be on Game Pass if you want to check it out. It's super dated. I looked at some footage recently, and I mean, the game is 20 years old, and it's very dated. If you want to play an open world Western and you never played Gun before, I would check it out. It's worth a try, but don't get your hopes up too much, because I mean, Red Dead 2 is like, I mean, it's quintessential. It's like right up there. It's up there with Red Dead 1. So the fact that those are, you know, but if you're tired of Red Dead, you want to give another Western open world game a try, I would try out Gun. The gameplay is like fairly fun. There's like slow-mo, there's like bullet time in the game. And this is 2005, and like it goes into slow motion, and you can switch between targets and like shoot targets and such, and that's a very cool thing in the game. And there's like the melee's fun, like the combat's actually surprisingly fun. Like I said, it's just so brutal. You can shoot off limbs and headshots, like their heads explode. You can like knife. You have like a melee button, and it's like a very fast melee. It's actually very satisfying melee combat. Like you can upgrade your knife to like a sword or a tomahawk. A lot of cool stuff in the game. And again, the side content is pretty cool too, with the bounty hunting, some of the hunting and finding gold, so that you can upgrade your arsenal. And like I said, you can play poker. A very fun game. Super simple. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Gun for a little bit. It crossed my mind. I'm like, I was playing Red Dead 2 recently, and I was wondering about like, what other Western games are there really? Like Red Dead Revolver was pretty fun, and then it reminded me of Gun. I was like, oh, I completely forgot about Gun. Gun is like, that was a game. That was a game right there. Was it a good game? It was okay. But yeah, good game. Yeah, whatever.
I ain't your father.